So with the latest controversy in the NASCAR world and the fact it's very unlikely we will ever escape the playoff format, I thought I'd try myself in creating a format for NASCAR going forward. I mean, it can't get any worse than the current system, can it? Also, once we get into the playoffs, I will give a schedule to give you a better understanding as to what I believe would make a good season/format. If you have any ideas yourself, leave them in the comments, I would love to hear them. And also don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to and like this type of content. It really helps me out and I'm trying to get somehow to 500 before the end of the year. So as normal, we begin with the regular season and as tradition, starting at the Daytona 500. The Super Bowl of NASCAR. Not much will change during the regular season, I will only be changing 3 things. The first thing is the All-Star race. It will now not be slapped into the middle of the regular season, but now be after the regular season and before the playoffs, with 2 weeks either side. The reason for this change is the All-Star race isn't perfect, but putting it in this new slot will give it some hype and give some playoff build-up. The second thing is the amount of races in the regular season. Instead of 36, we will have 30. 5 taken out of the regular season will be placed into the playoffs, but 1 will be dropped completely, and you'll see where they come in. The third and final change, and the most important one, is the way the drivers qualify for the playoffs. No more of this bullshit winning your own gimmick. Now it's all based on points. The top 16 drivers in the regular season standings advance to the playoffs. This stops drivers making it into the playoffs after getting a fluky win, for instance Harrison Burton's at Daytona. Consistency is key. We need the top drivers in the championship, not drivers who have got lucky with the win and are in the system. On screen now is what the round of 16 would look like this year if we had this system of making it into the playoffs. As you can see, Chase Briscoe, Daniel Suarez, Austin Cindric and Harrison Burton would miss out while the current format they made it. Kyle Busch, Ross Chastain, Bubba Wallace and Chris Buescher would make it in after missing out this year with the current ruling. Also to mention, stage points will still be a factor, but instead of top 10 getting the points, it will be top 20 with 1 point difference in between each position. This will only help with trying to qualify for the playoffs and not carry them over to the playoffs. So with the regular season done, on to the playoffs, starting with the round of 16. As I said, 5 races will be moved into the playoffs, 1 of them added to each of the round of 16, round of 12 and round of 8, so each round is now 4 races. All the points will reset to 0, a clean slate for each driver as they enter the playoffs. So with all drivers now on 0, they can race as hard as possible to get the maximum points. As the regular season, no win in your end system, you just get the win points. As normal with each round, 4 drivers will be eliminated at the end of the 4 races. They will be the 4 drivers with the least amount of points in them races. As I've said previously, I would make a playoff schedule, so in the round of 16, we would start with the Southern 500 at Darlington, moving on to Iowa, Watkins Glen and rounding up at Nashville. As the drivers progress to the round of 12, it's the same again. Points reset to 0, 4 races, bottom 4 in the points get eliminated. A small mix in tracks is in this round we will have the Bristol night race beginning, then followed by Atlanta, Gateway and finishing at the Roval in Charlotte. You get the idea as we move on to round of 8. This sets up the 4 drivers that will make it to the championship, with the 4 highest point scorers advancing. So we have 4 drivers worthy of being a champion at the end of the season. In this round we race at New Hampshire, Kansas, a return to North Wilkesboro in the playoffs, and like the normal round of 8, finishing at Martinsville. Now for the biggest change. No more 1 race championship decider, a 3 race championship decider. The tracks that will feature will be Las Vegas, Miami and Phoenix. The 4 drivers will go head to head over 3 races, with the driver that takes the most points becoming NASCAR Cup Series champion. Also a massive difference is only in the championship 4 do drivers get extra points. Fastest lap, most laps led, pole position and fastest pit stop time. This is to try and stop a scenario in which we have a tie after the 3 races. If we still have a tie, then it will come down to who has the most wins in the playoffs. If somehow it's still a tie, then most wins across the season. The extra points also gives a chance for a driver to gain some points if their race has gone poor. Chance to go for fastest lap or fastest pit stop to make sure they always stay in the hunt for glory, and we have a 4-way showdown come to the final race. That is my idea for the NASCAR playoff system. Yes, I'm going to be biased, but that's 10 times better than what we have now. But we are not going to get anything like that anytime soon, so let's hope they make some tweaks to the current format going forward.